which he called a very dangerous thing. The former president said Israel has to finish the job in Gaza and finish it quickly and strongly because it's taking too long.
Ukraine is striking inside of Russia with U.S. weapons for the first time since the Biden administration granted it permission last week. Lisa Taylor with more.
A Ukrainian parliament member confirmed that U.S. weapons hit Russian logistics and artillery locations. This week, Putin warned of fatal consequences if the U.S. ignores Moscow's warnings that Ukraine should not use weapons provided by Washington to attack Russia.
Boeing's Starliner mission is reporting some helium leaks on its way to the space station. Crewed spacecraft finally lifted off Wednesday morning from Cape Canaveral. 2 previous launch attempts were scrubbed due to technical issues, including a small helium leak. Another leak was reported just prior to liftoff, but was deemed acceptable. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsockеtradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It is Coffee Ann on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us on Thursday morning. It is June 6th in the year 2024. This is Joe Callahan at the Coffee Ann table. Bob Lauder's here. Good morning to you, Bob.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
I haven't seen Bob in a month.
Right?
Yeah, no.
Because he was here, you weren't. You weren't here for 2 weeks.
He was
what is
in
this?
court, that kind of thing. Well, it's all the judge's fault, That's Sue Tesser-McKenzie from the Blackstone Valley Call-in-Times. Hi, Sue.
Good morning.
And Sue, it is time for your first message.
I love.
Yes, Bob?
I was going to butt in with something else. This is more important.
All right. So
I love
first message. Blackstone
walking
Valley
in the door,
Call-in-Times.
make my message. So anybody having a delivery problem, like my mom?
But that was years ago at the hospital.
Not that.
Oh, that was another story. That's another story.
All right.
Another delivery.
No, we have a couple of different phone numbers to contact for delivery problems, and if you're not getting the assistance you need with those numbers, which are 767-8522, you can call Christina at 767-8503, and she can send an email out to the circulation department. With our move, we have much more limited space, so our circulation department is in our Westerly office, or either Westerly or Wakefield. Either way, it's not on Main Street. If, however, you missed only a paper or two and you want to come in and pick it up, stop into the office at 154 Main Street in Woonsocket. Not that we close the office randomly, but with summertime and vacations, please feel free to call my cell phone at 487-4136 or Christina at 767-8503, and we'll be more than happy to help you out, just to make sure that somebody's there to assist you or somebody will meet you there.
All right. Very good, Sue. All
Now,
right.
the
Yes,
big
Bob.
question is...
The big question, yes.
You've been to Fantasyland. The real one, not just working in this confined...
Yes.
What was your trip like? What was best fantasy for you?
At the Magic Kingdom? It was great. Of course, the whole family went, all 4 of us, and the best part of going through Fantasyland is me pointing out to the kids of this is why I didn't bring you when you guys were 3 years old.
Right.
Screaming child, screaming child, screaming child, screaming child.
I thought it was something like going on the boat rides and things like that.
Well, that was my daughter's insistence. And it is when you go to the Magic Kingdom, you have to write "It's a Small World" at least once, just to say that you've done it. And we did, and it was as dull as it always is.
But what happened?
1964 at the World's Fair, that was cutting edge.
That was it. Huh?
That was great.
Well, yeah, all the dancing
But
dolls.
what happens with the little kids, it's not so much that they're misbehaving, etc.
No,
It has to do with the fact that the parents spent all that money, and they want the kids to enjoy every single aspect, but they're tired.
And they're hot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult balance. I'm sure we never did it either.
No, I waited for my kids were older.
Yep.
And
what was the best part?
Oh well, there's lots of best parts. Wow. The 2 new rides that they have down there. There's one at the Magic Kingdom called Tron Light Cycle Coaster, which is you ride it like a motorcycle. That was a lot of fun because it's really fast. And their other one at Epcot called Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a roller coaster that goes backwards. It shoots you backwards, and then your car spins too on it. That was different.
Yippee.
So,
Yippee.
That's a vertigo nightmare right there.
well, yeah. And I talked to other people that had been on it beforehand and how they were they coming off, go, where's my balance? And they were a little queasy coming off.
Yeah.
I saw videos, some people saying the same thing, so I was smart. Brought my motion sickness medicine with me. And about an hour before we went on the ride, I took a couple of pills. My son took a couple of pills of the Dramamine.
Yeah.
And we were fine. It worked out great. We weren't queasy. We didn't have to sit down. We didn't need a drink of water afterwards. We thought it was great. So, yeah.
Darn. And you and I thought he might be staggering through the rest of the
No,
park.
no,
Right?
no. I stay away from the rides I know that are going to really make me sick. One's called Mission to Space. I don't go on the teacups at the
Oh,
Magic
no.
Kingdom. They spin way too fast.
See, I like the teacup.
Oh, no.
See, I look
No.
at that as mild.
Mild
Oh.
is the swirling saucers over at Hollywood Studios.
So there's saucers and teacups.
Yes, but the saucers don't go 360 degrees.
Okay.
They go 180, and I can handle that.
I like the rides at Canopy Lake Park
Yeah, there you go.
because you have a kind of a not as extreme as that. I don't know when the last time you guys went there,
A
but
couple of years ago.
there's one ride that's called like Vertigo or something.
Yeah, I won't go on it.
Yeah. See, I've never been afraid of any rides whatsoever.
Okay.
But back in 2014, when I got shingles, whatever meds or whatever the issue was, because it's neurological, I had vertigo so bad that I couldn't even
Wow.
sit. I needed to just be down. I haven't had it since, but am I going to subject myself to those
That's
things?
right,
I'm not
yeah.
taking a chance, you
Right.
know, because it's a scary thought now.
That's why I don't go on the teacups.
Yep.
Nope, nope,
I
nope,
just
nope,
be,
nope.
be worried about the ones where they have them passing out the air sickness bags before you get onto the.
Before, yeah.
That's
Mission,
not
Mission,
the one I wanted-
Mission Space has that.
Wow.
I was joking. They
Oh,
really do.
They really do.
Oh, whoa.
Because it is so intense. In fact, the astronauts have gone on it and says this is exactly like it when you take off in a rocket. It is so intense.
I think I'm going to spend a lot of time walking through Animal Kingdom, looking at the
There you go.
anteaters.
There you go. That's
yeah.
just
Feeding the
fine.
goats.
Feeding the goats.
Now it's
Yes.
funny. Bob hasn't heard this story, but I'll just run over real quick again about bringing kids and like that. So we were on a bus going to one of the parks, and I was sitting next to a woman. After listening to her talk, she was from Massachusetts, so we got talking, and she was bringing her 4 and her 6-year-old, and she actually told me, you know what the 4 and 6-year-old want to do? They don't want to go to the park. They want to stay at the hotel and go in the pool, and that's it. It's the parents that say, "Are you kidding? I have spent. You know how much money I've spent?
That's
You-
my point.
You will go to the park and you will have fun. The kids don't really want to go at that young age.
Yeah.
Right.
They just want to hang out in the pool.
Okay.
And my other funny one, Bob, we were at Hollywood Studios. This is about noontime on a hot day, and I'm passing some woman. She's pushing a double wide stroller. So she's got 2 kids in there.
Yeah.
I think they were also 4 and 6. And she, screamed out at the top of her lungs. At first I thought she was yelling at me, but she wasn't. She was yelling at her kids. And she screamed out, "I am at my wit's end with you 2." It was noon. And she was at her wit's end. And I looked around because I thought she was yelling at me. And I looked around. I said, "Is there a husband around?" "No." "Is there any other adult around?" "No." She is by herself.
You know, it's very generous of him to think that she wasn't yelling at him.
She
I
was
mean,
not.
he's the only adult
No,
there.
no.
The little guys are probably
No,
asleep.
she was
They-
surrounded by other families and adults walking around her. So
Okay.
we just hit it just perfectly when she
To hear
when
the
she
yell.
yelled that out. It was
hear the
and so
yell.
we just
And you know,
we laughed just the rest of the day.
once you get to that point.
Oh yeah, it's
Because,
bad.
even in my situation, I get like, okay, I am done.
Yeah,
I just
That's it.
stop.
we're leaving right now. So, but she wasn't going to leave because
She spent too much money.
to be here, and you will calm down and have a good time.
It's a question, I suppose, of balancing between do I take the children to Disney World and have a time down there, or do I put them through college? And, you could have make that decision on how
Yeah.
you expend your money. Yeah.
I have a friend. He's retired. Him and his wife, and they have timeshare in Orlando.
Whoa.
All right, but not at one of the Disney ones.
Right.
But if you're in Orlando,
You're in
nearby.
Orlando.
You're nearby, and people will spread out and go to different resorts, and then they'll just drive to
Right.
Magic Kingdom and stuff. So his timeshare, and he told me this, is roughly in April, and it's always right around spring break time. And this is what him and his wife like to do. They like to get up nice and early, like around 7 or 8, and go down to the pool and just hang out at the pool and watch all the other families scrambling. We gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go,
Oh,
because
man.
the park opens in an hour and we gotta drive and there's cars and he goes, it's hysterical.
It's-
And so, but then they're all gone.
Right.
By 9 o'clock, it's him and his wife in the pool by themselves.
Right, sit there having coffee and mimosas.
the
what's,
mimosas is
what's
bad.
better than that? Bloody
And,
Marys.
So the only thing they really got to think about is because when people go down to Disney, and they usually go for a week, maybe 10 days, it's so tiring. You actually build in a rest day. There's one day on your vacation you don't go to any of the parks,
Okay.
and so they try to figure out which day is the rest day for most of the people there. And they said they usually hit it right, and then they go somewhere else
Right.
because there's too many kids in the pool now.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
they'll go to a mall or movies or whatever, or something like that, and then they'll come back, and then it's every morning watching
Wow.
watching the mothers and fathers screaming at each other and their kids. We got to get going to get to the park, and we're going to be late.
See, that to
I
me
think that is so funny.
That's not vacation. I mean,
No, it's
I'm
not.
not a sit back, just don't do anything. I love to explore the
Yeah.
area I go to. I like to pick up the travel brochures, even if it's just Maine or New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Pick up the brochures and see what's nearby, estimate the timing and all that. But it's not in that manic sense because it's not an enjoyable, relaxing vacation. Vacation, to me, you explore your area.
Yep.
You enjoy what the area has to offer, whether it's the foods, entertainment venues, or scenery. And you go out. You don't sit by the pool all day because that's not me either. Oh, God, no, that's not me. But to scramble like that,
Oh yeah, that's just that's nuts.
People spend a week to 10 days down there?
Oh, well, there's 4 parks. Actually, well, there's 6 if you want to count the 2 water parks. So if you want to hit each park, well, there's 4 days right there. 'Cause you really
Okay.
you can jump from park to park, but that's even more tiring.
yeah.
So you have 4 parks, and then you got to build in a rest day. Well, now it's 5 days, so at least you can recoup.
And did I see
then
that
there's a water park. There's
Disney's
day
putting in
6.
another $17 billion to build another park down there?
Yes, yeah. They're.
Have
You
they
know,
told
Walt
what-
Disney was very smart, and he always said that Disney World will never be finished. They will always build something new. There will always be. He was smart. There will always be new technology. There's always something new coming. Will never be finished. And yeah, they are continuing to build down there.
Is that going to be a new theme park, or is it just expanding on the parks they have
Right now they're expanding it. They're going to expand the Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
They've already got the okay, and they've started working on it with like the sewering.
Right.
They do that first. But then I heard a whole new theme park is coming as well. So
And what's the general character of that going to be?
I don't know
Any
yet.
idea?
It says too soon. So stay tuned. And so it's always another reason. If you say, well, this is my last trip, there's always something new coming to get you to come back. At least try to get you to come back. They're very, very smart.
Great. Good marketing.
So, very good, and just it worked out very well. I saw no problems because sometimes you read about problems down at Disney. You know, this happened or that happened. I didn't see anything. People were all very nice, and I'm talking about the guests. Not, the employees are always very nice, but courteous and hellos and a lot of you go ahead of me kind of thing. No crashing into each other. No people on scooters crashing into each other.
You
down
didn't run
there.
into,
It was
you didn't run into
great.
Florida Man or anything like that?
Who's Florida Man?
Florida Man's the one you always hear about in the news. Florida Man was
Okay,
arrested
yeah,
for
yeah.
some
They-
kind of
yeah,
bizarre incident.
That's right.
I
Well,
think
they
it
stay
goes like
outside
this
Disney.
though. A Florida man.
Yeah.
Not so much Florida man.
Yeah,
It's all,
Yeah.
it's all in the accentuation
And
of
there
the
are,
words.
and you're right. It's all where the comma goes. And there are a lot of bizarre characters that are in the Orlando area. But I'm one of those guys that when I go to Disney, I'm inside the Disney bubble, and I just don't leave it. Some people like to get outside and see what's going on. I just stay inside the Disney bubble for the entire week, and I'm treated like a king when I'm down there. This is funny. I stayed at the Grand Floridian.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The reason why I stay there, first of all, it's beautiful. But second of all, I like the fact that people are looking at me saying that, boy, he must be doing well in life if he can stay at the Grand Floridian. Because that's what I'm saying to other people.
Darn right.
I'm saying that to everybody. We're all doing so well in life that we get to stay here. And I'm glad people are looking at me and thinking the same thing.
All right.
No one comes up to you, so what do you do for a living or anything like that? Or
Right.
what do you make your millions in? Well, no, they don't ask you that. They just make the assumption that
Yep.
we're all doing very well. That's why we're all staying right here.
Preserve that feeling.
It's great. It's perfect. All right, we're gonna get some law questions, Bob.
Oh, my goodness.
Get that brain
like
ready
those.
to go. And but Sue, it's time for a second message from the Blackstone Valley call-in times.
Alrighty. Okay, so Father's Day is coming, and we have a contest going on in the paper. So you can go online, www.woonsocketcall.com, to enter to win. Whoever wins the prize then has a choice of, I believe it's 175 or 100 and 150 and $25 gift certificates from one of the participating businesses that we will then purchase for the winner. The drawing's going to be on the 13th, so be sure to, enter. We do still have a Jose F. that won New England Steak and Seafood for Mother's Day that has not answered my email, has not reached out yet. So, Jose F., we still have your prize. 767-8503 is Christina, or 487-4136 to call me.
All right, very good. More of the Coffee and program is coming your way. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
Join us at the Honey Shop Academy and embark on a journey of discovery, healing, and creativity. Whether you seek solace in meditation, rejuvenation through sound, artistic expression through paint, or spiritual insights through cards, we invite you to explore, learn, and grow in our welcoming and nurturing space. Embrace the magic within and unlock your true potential at the Honey Shop Academy. Now, it's right in the same location as the Honey Shop store, actually another portion of the building, the former CMM picture frame. And here's what's coming up. You have to buy your tickets in advance. On Friday, the 21st of June, 6 to 8 p.m., it's paint night with Angela's Magical Palette. Then on Saturday, the 22nd, from 10 in the morning till noon, it's Moon Energy Meditation. Join us for the meditational experience that aligns with the mystical energies of the moon, water, Reiki, and intuitive card readings. And then, on Sunday the 23rd, at 2 sessions, 11 to 12 and 12:30 to 1:30, Healing Sounds Bath. At the Honey Shop Academy, the former CMM picture frame, same building as the Honey Shop store. Call 766-1488. That's 401-766-1488 for tickets, or purchase them from the Facebook event ticket link. The Honey Shop.
The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with RE/MAX Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first, and he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401 639 2906? That's 401 639 2906.
And it's Coffee In here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Bob Blatter and Sue Tessier-McKenzie. So ready, Bob? You got your lawyer hat on. Ready?
I have my
Are you ready
lawyer
to go?
hat on.
All right.
The wig and everything.
Has the euphoria ebbed from the Donald Trump verdict for you?
I didn't have euphoria.
No?
I
Okay.
was actually
Pleasantly surprised?
surprised that it
Really?
was a conviction on all the 34
On all 34?
charges.
All right.
I expected it was going to be a hung jury because
A lot
I
of people thought
this
that,
is
yeah.
a very difficult case to conceptualize as to what his alleged crimes would have been.
Mm-hmm.
And also, so many people were saying, well, a lot of the testimony hangs on Michael Cohen, and Michael Cohen is known to be a liar.
A liar.
And so but the counter to that is that since Michael Cohen was an accomplice, in order to accept any testimony from an accomplice, you have to have an outside third method of corroborating the statements. You cannot just rely on the statements of Michael Cohen. You had to have something else, and apparently they did. And I was surprised that there was 12 people on the jury were able to come back with a verdict on all of them, and not have one juror who said one way or the
Right.
other. If the most of the jury was saying convict, this person was saying no, and if most of the people were saying he's not guilty, then this person would be saying yes, he is. That was a surprise to me.
Okay. Now, in
Euphoria? No, I'm not euphoric over it.
all right. Now, in terms of, Trump says he's going to appeal.
Of course, anyone would.
Well, correct. But when will that happen? Are we looking like another year from now before the appeal happens? That if that's true, he's running for president, and let's say, for the sake of argument, he wins, and now he's president,
Mm-hmm.
and then his appeal comes up.
Right.
As president, can he just push this off until after his presidency is done?
When the timing is for an appeal is going to depend on the court, but I would imagine that former President Trump would be saying, "Look, I'm right in the middle." Well, the appeal itself isn't going to require testimony. The appeal itself is going to be judicial briefs that are filed by both sides, the defense and the prosecution.
So it'd be rather quick.
Well, quick yes and quick no.
All right.
Quick yes in putting together the documentation, because I would imagine that each side has already been planning for an appeal, no matter which side won. And so they may have some preliminary documentation and briefs put together, but actually getting into the court schedule, and then, of course, reacting to, I would expect the defense is going to say, because our client is engaged in this national campaign, we have to have it continued until he's no longer in the campaign. And then if he is successful in winning the election, I would expect that the defense is then going to say, we still are persisting in our appeal, but we have to have it continued because he has far more important things to do in running the country than coming back to New York and being here for an appeal. He doesn't have to be in the courtroom during an appeal.
Okay.
But if the appeal is denied, in the sense that the court says the prosecution is successful, then there may be further appeals. But if the appeal is granted and the court says, yes, he was wrongfully convicted, then the prosecution has the right to, okay, let's
Do it
have
again?
a retrial.
All right.
And I'm sure that they would not allow a retrial
Of a
during
sitting
a period of
president.
time while he was in office, because it would just take too much time away from his actual presidential duties.
If he is the sitting president,
Right.
can he just pardon himself?
No.
Why can't
because
that be done? Yeah.
He can pardon himself for federal crimes, but he cannot pardon himself for state crimes.
Okay.
So that one and the one down in Georgia, which is a state crime, he's going to be still facing. The two that involve the concealing of the documents at Mar-a-Lago, that's a federal crime. And if
Okay.
he's elected, he can certainly say, I'm pardoning myself, and that's gone.
Wow. Okay. He's doing good, Sue.
Right?
All right. You ready to go? Another one? Okay.
What?
Another
Okay.
law thing. Okay. So he's been convicted.
Right.
Why hasn't the gag order automatically been lifted on him? They say they have to keep going back to the judge to ask him to lift the gag order.
I would imagine that part of it has to do with the appeal, because if he's successful on the appeal and the appellate court says, yes, there was errors committed in your trial and you're entitled to a new trial, that in fact the same testimony and same evidence is going to be brought before the court this time, and the judge may be trying to preserve the quality of those witnesses. Although at this point, I think everybody knows who the witnesses are. I think the gag order is primarily to protect the jurors, because there's been evidence in the past that when, in a high-profile case, when the identity of jurors becomes known to the public, there are people who will try to attack physically those jurors, and so the gag order may be trying to preserve their identity or anonymity.
But I've already heard people say, I know the jurors' names and we know where they work. Of the jurors, that information's already out there.
How did that get out there?
I don't know. I don't know how the person knew, but they just said, "Oh yeah, I've seen their names."
Well, if
Either
I recall,
online or
if I
in
recall
print
correctly,
somewhere.
the identity of the jurors was known to the attorneys for the defense and the attorneys for the prosecution, but they were not supposed to be releasing it and saying, "Okay, it's Joe Smith who lives at 123 Smith Street." If the juror himself says, "I want to come out of the anonymity and say who I am, and I'll face any questions or repercussions that come from it,"
All right.
that's the juror's choice. But I would think that most of the jurors would probably want to say, "I'm not
Yeah.
going to release my identity because I don't want reporters hanging around outside my house. I don't want to be the target for people who may be violently opposed to the decision that I made."
All right.
2 days ago, Trump jurors can now reveal their identities. It's a risk.
It's up to them.
It is
Well,
a
it sure
risk.
is. Yeah. All
You know,
right.
she is good. She gets all the stuff. You know, newspapers have this way of getting stuff right on
Right
the-
away.
Right away.
All right.
Wow.
I got another question for Bob. So
golly.
here we go. And
You notice how he's not hitting you with sports, because we established while you were gone that his forte is lawyer and history.
She left out
Are you
the
going to hit him with
sports part.
sports? Are you going to hit him with sports?
I can. Who's how many games is it going to take the Celtics to win the NBA championship this year, Bob?
Oh my God, that was a deer-looking headlights.
I know.
A deer in
It's pretty
headlights
good.
look. That was
just,
good.
just say four.
Four.
Very
Four.
good.
Good
The,
thing you know. I can
NBA
count.
the NBA finals start tonight.
Great. Who are they
ver-
playing?
the Dallas Mavericks.
On all four of them or just once?
No, it's a best of 7 series,
Okay.
so they have to win 4 games to win the championship. I think they're going to do it in 4. That's just my
Is
My
it
opinion.
going to be in Boston tonight or down
first
in
game.
Texas?
No, first game's in Boston. First 2 games are in Boston.
Great.
There you go. That's that orange ball that bounces. That's basketball.
Good.
All right, back to the-
That's not the elliptical one. They don't
No.
bounce that one.
This one's
Okay.
round. So, and I've seen this posed online. I haven't read the answer. I don't know if it's a facetious question, but how come? You know, the whole thing with the case was Stormy Daniels said he gave me $130,000 to keep my mouth shut. Obviously, she didn't keep her mouth shut. How come she doesn't have to give back the money? The hush money.
I don't know under the circumstances of how the money was paid to her. I don't know if there was any kind of written disclosure and
Probably not.
okay, a non-disclosure agreement or something along those lines. And if there was something like that, then she might be in jeopardy. I did see that the former president had brought litigation against the New York Times and against his niece, Mary Trump, for publishing information concerning his background and work that he had done in the past. The courts in New York have released the New York Times and the publications from any liability, but they have said that the case that the president has against his niece may continue forward because he did have a written non-disclosure agreement with her, and there's the potential that she has violated the terms of the non-disclosure agreement, and if she has, then she can be liable to the former president for the damages arising from her violating the non-disclosure. So it's possible.
Well, I'm thinking if you're having this, he always says it didn't happen, but if you're having this alleged affair, especially with an adult film star, you're not going to have her signing papers for Non-Disclosure Act, and if you are paying her money, you're probably giving her cash just to make the whole thing go away. You know, be quiet about this.
I don't recall whether or not it was paid to her in cash
Or by
if it
check.
was in the form of checks. The issue, though, wasn't before the court wasn't whether or not he'd paid her. It was the manner in which the payment to her had been concealed by Michael Cohen, by him reimbursing Michael Cohen with various checks along the line. And what did surprise me was that the $130,000, which apparently Cohen raised by taking a second mortgage on his house, was not reimbursed back to him in one lump sum. It was reimbursed back to him in $10,000 increments over a period of months, which seemed either very frugal on the part of the former president or somehow an attempt to hide the payment entirely. Yeah.
I would say if Trump said, well, if he sued her to get the money back, that's kind of an admission that, well, I guess you did have this affair that you keep saying that didn't happen.
Well, as Senator Romney mentioned at one time, there are very few people in the world who would pay $130,000 to conceal something that didn't happen.
Well, good point. Good point. All right, we got to take a break here in the coffee. Good answers, Bob. Good answers.
great.
All right.
You get a gold star today.
Thank you. But wait, I had to have the fingers held up for the.
How many
Yeah,
games?
but that's because it was sports. I already defended you on sports. So.
Okay, thank you.
Joe
All right.
chose
You know
Joe
sports like-
chose to go at you on
I
it.
know. I wanted to do it at the top of the hour, but we started talking Disney. All right, time for the weather forecast right now, which is being brought to you by Allstate Insurance.
An 80% chance of showers and possibly a thunderstorm today. Cloudy skies, high of 73. Between a quarter and a half an inch of rain is possible during the day today. Tonight, continued chance of showers and thunderstorms, but greatly diminished. A wind from the south, mostly cloudy skies, overnight low of 63. Friday's weather, mostly sunny and 82. Saturday, sunshine and 78. Sunday, partly sunny and 75. Monday, mostly sunny and 75. Tuesday, mostly sunny and 76. And next Wednesday, mostly sunny, high near 81.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street with cloudy skies, we have 71 degrees. Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Coming up Saturday night in the Four Seasons Banquet Room and Performance Hall at Chan's, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket. It's the Love Dogs at 8 p.m. $20, $25 at the door. Top dog Eddie Shear leads his exciting and multi-talented Love Dogs band for an evening of heavy petting fun. Well, you'll enjoy it at Chan's. And, of course, that's where you get your Chinese delights. All kinds of fun foods like wonton soup, teriyaki, egg rolls, crab rangoon, chicken wings, boneless ribs, Mongolian steak, walnut shrimp delight, general chicken, lo mein, fried rice, 32 special combination dinners. And when you go there for the concerts, many times they light up the buffet at Chan's. Go there this weekend. You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
Lou Mandeville here to tell you the only place to get your local high school and college scores, as well as the Pats, Bruins, Celtics, and Sox is on My Morning Sports Reports. And they are right here on ON 1240, Monday through Friday on the Morning Fun Show.
All right, it's Coffee and on ONAM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callan here with Sue Tessier-McKenzie and Bob Lauder. And Bob, time for a first message from your law office, please.
Good morning. Thank you. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. Recent cases being brought to my office during the last several weeks have encouraged me to dust off some of the advice I provided in commercials in the past. Diana, I wouldn't even dream of mentioning the old clock, except every time I dust it now, I think of you. The advice is to encourage in some realistic estate planning, And that planning is not limited to just preparing and signing a valid last will and testament and or a living trust to accompany it, but also to prepare an appropriate obituary. Recently, my office was tasked with this endeavor, and while I'd known the deceased, I had not represented the deceased in estate planning, and I had no idea of the identity of her relatives, nor did I know the various organizations in which the deceased had been involved. Preparation of the obituary required some research, and later I learned that I'd overlooked some of the activities which made the life of the deceased so interesting. I know it may sound pretty morbid to suggest that you sit down and pull out a pen and paper, or with more advanced people, work on a computer, and start writing an obituary you want published following your death. But it shouldn't be that hard. Who more than you knows the important elements in your life? Do you really want to leave that task to someone after your death? Someone who may have forgotten that you received the Carnegie Award for heroism, but clearly remembers that your mother had to get you out of trouble when you stole some pack of bubble gum from the corner store when you were 6 years old? If you'd like to discuss legal matters with me, please call my office for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And a disclaimer. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as expert or specialist in any field of practice. And I'd like to add one more thing, and that is to give a plug to the St. James Episcopal Church on Hamlet Avenue, which is holding an indoor yard sale this coming Saturday from 9 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I have no idea what's going to be available at the yard sale, but can tell you that in the past, I had to buy back stuff that my wife had secretly concealed from me and put in the yard sale. Years and years ago, I had bought a tea set that the teapot looked like an acorn.
All right.
My wife was not particularly thrilled with the purchase, and over the years, the silver plating had worn off, and it looked a little shabby. And a few years ago, there it was, which was a big surprise to me. And so,
You bought
for a
it back?
modest sum, it's now in the garage. It's back.
That's pretty funny.
So, there may be other gems over there too.
Your idea of writing your own obituary is a good idea, Bob. And even some high school and some college English courses actually have the kids do it
Really?
as an assignment.
Good.
Like a fun little assignment, and it does. It makes you think about your life and what do you want people to remember you by, and what don't you want people to remember you by. And it is tough putting an obituary together after your loved one has passed away, trying to remember. When did they graduate high school? Well, they were born in this
Right.
year.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's you all look at each other. Is it this year? Yeah, all right, that makes sense. And what was the name of the school again? There's all
Yeah.
that. There's all that.
That's
that
just
stuff.
added
Burden.
mental stress
Yeah.
during a difficult time.
Trying to keep it all straight. So if you do it beforehand, it's one less thing you got to worry about. All right,
Of course, you
know,
could
yes?
always assign it to
Somebody else.
a close individual that
Yeah.
knows a lot about you, and I'd be certainly willing to
You do
put
mine,
together.
Bob?
Oh man,
Well, let's see if you got the basics.
Oh.
What year was I born?
we wouldn't go around with that.
Oh, we need an
we
interview.
just hone in on the really important
Yeah,
stuff.
That's what I want. All right, now
Sports enthusiasts.
That's right.
Yeah, but I found out a while ago
What?
that his brother is the
Oh,
real sports
he's better than
expert.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You said
Hard
that.
to believe, but he's better than
Yeah.
Joe, and Joe is good in some of the more esoteric items.
me. Yes.
He can identify plant seeds and
No,
things
no,
like
no.
that.
I'm better at TV trivia, which gets me nowhere.
Yeah,
I
Right.
thought it was
No.
recognizing plant seeds
No.
and vegetation.
Oh my gosh, no.
Oh darn.
In college I took geology as a science.
Yep.
Still can't tell it. You put 3 rocks in front of me, and which one's the igneous rock? I have no idea.
Yeah, right. Well, I laugh with Bob saying that the plants and this, that, and the other. While I have a 5 o'clock every day alarm that goes off telling me to water my plants.
Whoa, that's great.
All right. Everybody's probably has issues with their local city officials, and we people have it up here in Woonsocket as well.
Really,
But we don't have the issues that they have down in Westerly.
Westerly.
Yep, they were having their town council meeting,
Yeah.
and while one person was up, a resident of Westerly was up talking about something, it's caught on video because they stream it on their Facebook page or whatever down there. There's a Westerly town councilor flipping off the guy with his middle finger while the guy is talking to the council, and it's caught live on TV.
Jeez.
Like, wow.
I thought they were so erudite down in Westerly. They just verbalize. They wouldn't do something like that.
I don't know if the guy was
Defend
complaining.
that one, Bob.
Yeah. No, I don't know if the guy that was talking was accusing that counselor of something or what. Or the counselor just didn't like what he was talking about, so he flipped him off.
Now,
I'm like, wow.
I have the legal question for you. The FCC licenses your broadcasting.
Yep.
If you're broadcasting that over the airwaves and that happens, is your license in jeopardy?
Yes. If it's over the air.
Okay.
This is different. It's being streamed like on Facebook and their
Right.
whatever.
Okay.
So that's different.
Okay.
They may be okay with that happening there.
But a lot of
Because you've
that,
chosen to go look at that.
right? But a lot of that is the verbal part of it.
Right.
Like I know what the beep is. I used to get it. It's like that 3-second or however many
Yeah.
second.
But if the news
Thing
were to
it is.
show it, like if Channel 12 were to show it,
Right.
they would pixel the person's hand.
Right.
okay.
So you can't see it.
Darn.
Another counselor on the council, another counselor said that the Lombardo's actions were absolutely unacceptable on a number of levels. They gotta talk to their colleague, understand his responsibility to provide an inviting and safe space for the public to talk about their grievances and issues. I don't think
wonder
this
what
has
the
ever.
subject was that.
I wish I
Right,
knew.
I'm
That would be great
curious
to know.
about that.
What were they talking about that aggravated this counselor named Kevin Lothar so much that he
Yep.
flipped off the guy? I don't know.
I'll go online and look up the Westerly Sun
Yeah, and see
because
what's going
that's
on
one of
there.
our papers.
Do you think? Okay.
But when you're not.
When did it happen? Was it yesterday?
Oh, on Monday night's meeting.
Monday night.
So look,
okay.
Tuesday or Wednesday's paper might have something on it. So some people are calling for the counselor to resign over these actions, but there's nothing in their charter or whatever they go by down there that says, well, this is a dismissible offense. It's just in bad taste, and you shouldn't do this, especially when the camera's pointed right at you. Try to remember that. So last year at this time, we had that accident in Smithfield where the car crashed into the Subway sandwich shop,
yeah.
and the manager, who's from Woonsocket, was killed.
Yep.
Well, after investigating and getting all the medical stuff together, it's been determined that the man who crashed into the Subway, Jeffrey Barden, will not face any criminal offense. They say he had a medical seizure, and just I don't know if he blacked out but he lost control of his car, obviously, and crashed into the Subway. Killed the woman, Charlotte Vaca of Woonsocket. Several other people were injured. I did read a little more on this. The family of Charlotte Vaca, they're not very happy about this. They were looking for justice for their mom, and but medical issues happen. What do you think, Bob?
I would think that the defense, the attorneys for the man who was driving the car, must have done a very good job in collecting the medical evidence to present to the Attorney General's office that said this is what happened. It was not something that was preventable in the sense of medication ahead of time. It was not something that was preventable by knowing ahead of time. For example, someone who became dizzy and knew something was happening, pulled off to the side of the road, or failed to pull off to the side of the road. I imagine it was something that was pretty rapid, and the Attorney General felt that even they brought charges against the driver, that the defense would be prevailing in the medical reports.
Look at all of our medical
and therefore,
evidence.
It wasn't worthwhile to bring the case.
The family saying, when the accident happened, the police at the time were either heard saying or whatever, well, it looks like he was drunk or high or something like that. But having a medical emergency can mirror those same symptoms. So,
I would imagine that it was based on the medical evidence that probably the attorney for the driver was able to procure, because that's not something that would be available to the prosecution's office.
Yeah.
Medical documentation is confidential, and it can't just be released.
Okay. The Rhode Island Department of Health says the FDA and the CDC are investigating a multi-state outbreak, including Rhode Island, of salmonella that they think are linked to cucumbers, which you don't hear of very often. Fresh Start Produce Sales is recalling whole cucumbers due to contamination concerns. The cucumbers were shipped in bulk from May 17th to May 21st to retail distribution centers, wholesalers, and food service distributors. The RIDOH Center for Food Protection and the state health labs have tested cucumber samples from Rhode Island, and they were negative so far for salmonella.
Why is it always foods that I like and not foods that I dislike?
It's never radishes, huh?
It's never radishes. It's never turnips. It's always, I could go with salmonella on turnips because that gives me a good reason to say to Gene,
none of those.
let's avoid those for the next
Like
year and a half.
Your cucumbers in your salad, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rats. Okay.
Sorry.
It's a plot of the farmers out to get us.
Well, it's May 24th to May 21st to May 24th.
The 17th to the 21st.
Those things are in the trash by now.
Well, they should be.
Probably.
Right.
They go bad after
So
a while.
you're safe.
I'm safe. Good. Thank you.
Now, here's a question. But are you a cucumber fan too, Sue?
I absolutely am. I bought
All
3
right.
yesterday.
Perfect. Question for you both. Now, when I'm up at Polar Park, we get fed, and they offer you can get a salad if you like, and the cucumbers are already sliced for you. However, they're not peeled. Should cucumbers be peeled before you eat them? Do you prefer them
Yes
to be
and no.
peeled?
Depends on the type of cucumber.
Really?
It depends
Okay.
on if it has the waxy outside, the exterior.
Mm-hmm.
But the peels are supposed to be very good for you.
Okay.
Like if you take a seedless cucumber, you can eat the peels. Most places and restaurants will do where they'll peel a little bit so that there's a little strip of green going all the way around, more like it looks like a starlight mint, for
Yeah,
lack of a
right.
better explanation. That just makes your salad look prettier. But
Yeah.
they're not bad for you as long as they're washed. But right now in the supermarkets, they're waxy type.
Not so good.
I'm not eating that.
All right.
It's gross. But for fresh garden vegetables, pickling, cukes, etc., it's fully acceptable to eat
Okay.
the peel.
Bob, do you eat the peel of
I
the
want to eat
cucumber?
at her house.
Do you eat the peel of the cucumber?
I'm trying to think back to what Jean does. I think she peels them.
Okay.
Yep.
It's funny because there's a guy another person that just works up there, and he's vehemently against the peel. No, because that's what he grew up with. No, Mom peeled the cucumbers before cutting them up and serving
My
them.
mom
And
too.
it's just-
Yeah, but I
so-
just know what they do in restaurants. I've worked in restaurants, so I know. But funny thing for you, I don't know if you all have ever heard of this. My mother, 'cause my grandparents had a big garden, so the foundation of a house that they had down by Lake Hiawatha became the garden. My mother had a thing that when you cut the cucumber, you cut the end off,
Yep.
and then you rubbed it over the other piece. And I'm trying to give it people that are listening on the radio
I've never heard of that.
visual. So you have the cucumber in one hand, the little end on the
Yeah.
other, and you just rubbed it around, and that supposedly took out the bitterness.
Hey, give it a
right.
shot.
So there's a new tip for it. So I know my cucumber things.
There you
know
go.
what I mean?
Very good.
Well, you were never bitter, so
Right.
It
Must be true.
must be true.
All right, Bob, it's time for a second message, please, from your law office, then we'll take another break here on the Coffee and program.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. A few minutes ago, I suggested that it would be worth your while to take an hour or so and write down your own obituary. I'd like to expand on that advice, and you know what's coming, some realistic estate planning. Most difficult parts of estate planning are on your part, and that's identifying your assets and deciding who you want to have your assets distributed to following your death. Now, identifying your assets, you should make a list on your own of all the assets that you own, including any real estate and timeshare condos and whose names are on the deed. Also, list all of the bank accounts, credit union accounts, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and similar financial assets, and whose names are on those accounts. And finally, all of your IRAs and 401k investments and life insurance, and who you have nominated as beneficiaries and contingent beneficiaries in the event of your death. Then comes the distribution decisions. Who do you want to receive the various assets? If more than one individual, what is the percentage or share that you want each of the beneficiaries to receive? And if the beneficiary has died before you, who do you want to receive the bequest you originally made to a now deceased beneficiary? Thereafter, there'll be considerations concerning the age at which the beneficiary may be entrusted to receive the bequest, whether or not establishment of a trust for a juvenile or a disabled beneficiary is in the best interest, the name of the trustee and the manner in which the trust will be administered, and whether or not it's appropriate to consider a living trust in addition to a last will and testament. And those final decisions can best be described and discussed with an attorney. If you'd like to discuss this or other legal matters, please call my office for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
Very good, Bob. And more of the Coffee and program is coming your way. Please stick around.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up gołąbki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
Fresco Italiano, a Night of the Arts, returns to the St. Anne Cultural Center on Saturday, June 22nd at 5 p.m. The evening will feature an art competition by the Northern Rhode Island Council of the Arts with students from Woonsocket and Cumberland High Schools, as well as a delicious Italian buffet served under the center's magnificent fresco paintings. Tickets are available at Belu's Flowers, Creative Impressions, The Honey Shop, Pine Swamp Place, Timeless Antiques, Vos True Value Hardware, or call 401-486-9380. For more information, visit the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center website.
It is Coffee and here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Sue Tesser McKenzie and Bob Lauder. And Bob, you like to vacation down on the Cape, right?
Yes.
Especially, and you go to Dennis, don't you?
Correct.
All right.
That's
well,
where I go to.
You've got okay. Well, you get new visitors down there. Now,
Who's that?
usually every year, the great white sharks show up. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they swim at the Dennis area, but now there's been a flamingo sighting.
That's what I heard
on
last
the
night.
Cape.
Really?
In Dennis at Chapin Memorial Beach. Do you know that beach? Do you frequent that beach?
I don't go to that beach, but I know where it is.
Okay. It was spotted on Sunday at the beach. Now, they think, whoever the experts are, they think this flamingo was last seen hanging out in the Hamptons.
Well,
those people are too rich, so we flew to the Cape.
Wait a minute. Wait. The people in the Hamptons try to give the impression that they're really elegant.
Yes.
The real wonderful part of the world is Cape Cod.
Okay.
And that's why the flamingo went there. He probably got disgusted with the people in the Hamptons.
Well,
too much presumption and pressure.
We had so many questions because, well, first of all, the other experts think that this flamingo got separated from its flock and is now just lost. Okay, where's the flock? Are they still at the Hamptons? Did they go out to Montauk Point? Where are the rest of the flamingos? Now, flamingos are pink because they eat pink shrimp.
Right.
Well, there are no pink shrimp up here. If the bird is finding shrimp at all, it's gray. So are his colors going to change? Will he become a gray flamingo? I need a flamingo expert.
We thought you
I
were
am
the
not
one
that
that was
person.
the expert on birds.
Not on birds, no. So,
Darn.
No,
And
it's Chapin, because the way Dennis runs, I always call it Outer Cape, Inner Cape.
Yeah.
Is Chapin? I'm trying to look at the images
I
here.
think it's on the
Bayside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is
I
warmer.
never do the Bayside. I'm always on the other side.
And so, but I wonder, because I'm not up on my bird flamingo stuff, can it survive up here? Well, it can now because it's warm. but when
happens when it gets
when it
cold.
turns cold, what happens is this bird going to know? Like the fish always know, the sharks know. When the water starts turning cold, they start swimming south because they're smart animals. Is the bird just as smart? Hey, in September,
Well, they fly south, but this is a flamingo.
They're always
So
south.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Birds fly south.
right?
But this is a
But does-
flamingo.
does it know to
so
leave?
That's right.
I would expect the flamingo.
We
will
need a
know when it's
flamingo
getting cooler
specialist
and
now,
be able
for
to
real.
sense the air currents and pressure, and which is warmer and which is cooler.
Well, you
and
would
he'll
think
probably
so.
depart. Yeah.
Okay, maybe it can hang out with some Canadian geese. Hey,
Right?
All right,
It's time to
there's
go.
my
Let me
brethren.
follow
I'll follow
them.
that V. That's heading south.
Right.
Okay, so
Darn.
all right. Well,
And your brother always said that when it came to
yeah.
things in the family, they considered you the pinnacle of birdiness.
He said that, huh? No, I don't
I
think
made
so.
that up.
I don't think so, Bob.
Well, if that bird makes it back home,
Yep.
he's going to initially be known as the black sheep of the family.
That's right. 'Cause he's going to be in the wrong color.
Yep.
He's not going to be pink. He'll be gray.
He's going to be the wrong
And
family.
can he? I don't know what else flamingos eat other than shrimp.
Right.
Will he be able to find, or she be able to find enough food to survive up there in the Cape, or is he going to Can they switch and go to oysters or
Right?
quahogs?
I have no idea, man.
And
If,
I don't-
well, if he makes it back to Florida, this poor flamingo's going to have to start hanging out with the pelicans.
I don't think the flamingo is going to know that you need to pick up the clam and drop it so it breaks open to get the food.
He might see some seagulls do that and pick up on their skills.
Are they that smart? Oh, that's how you do it. No, not seagulls don't do it. Other birds do it. Seagulls
Oh, I've
just
seen
look,
seagulls do it.
drop a clam.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think
Oh,
they were
yeah,
that smart.
they
Yeah,
do.
right on the West
Yeah.
Ennis Beach.
Are you
Fly
kidding
over
me?
the parking lot, wham! It
Drop
comes
it?
down,
Yep.
breaks.
Wow.
And
They're there.
they go. But the funny thing is with seagulls, you say they're not smart. They know when a person walked away from their blanket, and they also know that there is a bag of chips in that bag. And they literally walk over at some beaches and grab the bag of chips. I've seen it numerous
Yeah.
times.
Well,
I remember
Yeah.
you being on a holiday with Gene. I think it was somewhere down in Florida, one of those cruises where you go out to the islands, and bird swooped down and grabs Jean's hot dog out of her.
Yeah.
Woof. Like,
and
whoa.
they're quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
We did get a note that was called in 766-1240. The Boston Red Sox move on. They play the I'm not sure what that word is. They play the Chicago White Sox in Chicago. The White Sox have lost 13 straight.
Oh, my
And they're in
goodness.
disarray. A team in complete disarray. Hope I didn't put the whammy on the Red Sox. And by the way, go Celtics. Celtics in 6 against Dallas. So we'll see.
Great.
All right, there's a new survey out, and let's see if you agree with this. Older Americans are increasingly concerned about the future of Medicare. A West Health Gallup 2024 survey on aging in America say that nearly 3 in 4 Americans between 50 and 64 are, quote, extremely worried or just worried about Medicare not being available when they become eligible for it. And that's up 13 points from 2022. See, I'm right smack dab in that middle of that, and I'm not worried.
Well, I was just going to say,
things I just don't worry about.
I was just going to say, I mean, I got bigger things to worry about, but I see what the concern is for people. I mean, going to the supermarket is scary. So, you know what I'm saying? I think it just falls right in line with everything else. But some people are very concerned because that is their sole source.
Yeah. Do you
And
see
my
that?
mother's 87 and on Medicare, and she wants to go back to work because now she doesn't have the extra.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? She worked up until last year as a school bus monitor.
Wow.
Okay, and she's dying to go back to work because she's just scraping by, and that's what a lot of the older Americans. So maybe those that are above our age are more worried.
Okay. Do you see that too, Bob? Do you hear people, older folks, we're concerned that Medicare won't be there, or is just going to go away?
I hadn't given it a whole lot of thought. I'm 77 years old, and I'm very fortunate that I have not only Medicare, but I also have TRICARE for life because of the time I spent in the military.
Oh, okay.
But,
All right. You mostly hear more people. I'm more worried about Social Security. won't be there.
That's where my thought process was.
It's dried up. We don't have any money.
Especially
so-
that you put into it.
Yeah.
You
It's
know.
just-
We baby boomers are taking it all. From
I know. You
When-
know, I was going to say something really crude, but nah, never mind.
you weren't going to give me the sign from Westerly, the Westerly
Yeah,
sign.
no, not that sign.
All right.
You're hanging around too long.
Oh, thanks a lot. Great. Okay.
A North Carolina man believes a large piece of debris that fell on his house thinks it came from space. Mike Wooten heard a thump on his roof on May 21st. Initially thought it was a crow. He soon found a mysterious object in his yard. TV News down there reports that this particular incident follows a similar discovery of debris about an hour north of Franklin, North Carolina. Both objects show similarities like carbon fiber weaving and burnt titanium. Wooten has a hunch the two pieces go together. The North Carolina man's experience has also sparked speculation about the origin of the debris, prompting further investigation. Maybe NASA will get involved.
I was just going to say, there's the UFO. It fell on your house.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So if something falls on your house, take a look at it.
It's probably a UFO.
If it's titanium, call NASA.
Good.
They'd love to hear from you. All right, that'll do it for the show for today. Thank you very much for listening in. Celtics at 4, Bob?
Absolutely.
Sue,
I
Celtics
follow
at 4?
your I follow your advice.
5.
Celtics at 5. All right, I like Celtics at 4. All right, Bob Lauder, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me. Hope to see you next week.
All right, and Sue, thanks for coming in as well.
Thank you for having me, and have a good rest of the week.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have yourself a great day. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do your members at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. A bill in the legislature protecting home solar panels